Yesterday you're saying you ticked off all the hoodoos so far and there was just this one left. How good does it feel to look over that one?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, when I spoke to you yesterday, I wasn't all that confident that we could tick it off because it's hard to come down here and beat the Cats. They've been an amazing team for a long time, and beating them at home is a pretty special thing to do. So we're really wrapped as a football club, and you know, really happy with the contribution that we got from all the players tonight. I thought it was a great team effort.
Chris, you said pre-game you told the team to embrace the hostile environment, to not be afraid of the occasion, and actually take the game on with quick ball movement as well. Do you feel like you ticked a lot of those boxes, which makes it an even more satisfying performance?
Yeah, how do you know that?
I work for Fox Footy, and you said that on Fox Footy. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to come here with in a really positive, with a positive mindset. I don't think you can achieve much without it, particularly in these sorts of environments. It was a bit of the approach that we probably had towards the end of the year last year, and just reignited it in a different way this week, and the boys embraced it, and yeah, we were able to get the result that we got.
What about your ball movement specifically from the back half as well? Was that some of the better ball movement you've seen from your team so far this season?
Yeah, I think our ball movement's been good all year, to be honest with you, but it was good tonight. I'm not saying it was, especially it was a bit slippery out there, but I thought we were brave enough to take the game on. Our short kicking game was good. We changed the angles well. We opened it up when we went inside 50. We didn't kick it straight line, which, you know, Geelong try to get you to do that, especially here at this ground, and you know, we were able to be brave enough to make decisions with the ball that stop that from happening too often.
You brushed aside the questions around pressure last week, but the pressure, certainly your tackle count and so on, was up tonight. Was it an emphasis?
Not really, because if you look at our pressure all year, if you look on champion data, I think our pressure factor differential, we're number 5 in the AFL, so our pressure's been pretty good all year. Last week it wasn't, but it was a sort of game where, you know, the Giants only had 40 tackles as well. We had 28, so it was just a real open flowing sort of a game in perfect conditions at the Gabba. Tonight was a little bit, you know, slipperier, and the ground's a bit narrower, so we're able to get some pressure on. But it wasn't really we wanted to do it well, but it wasn't a reaction to last week because that was an outlier.
Chris, there's been a lot of talk about tagging this year. I think Lockie might have been a bit of a target tonight, but can you tell us a bit about when you think tagging works, and maybe also how it differs from, you know, back in your playing days or through your previous coaching eras?
Yeah, tagging's an interesting one. I mean, we sometimes do it. It just depends how damaging we think that player is going to be. Sometimes we just do a job on a good midfielder at a stoppage, for instance. Or sometimes we might want to stop a rebounding defender from getting too much of the ball. So it's different weeks. Tonight, for instance, we didn't have anything going on. We just came out to play. And that was more because I wanted our players to have a positive mindset. Sometimes when you have too many of those things going on, it sends the wrong message to your team. And I thought it was a hard enough task tonight as it was to come here and try and win without having too many things going on. So we kept it pretty simple. But it varies from team to team. Sometimes it depends on your own personnel too, who you've got. So,
are there other approaches that you can take to sort of controlling and neutralising a particular target player other than the tag?
It's a little bit harder to do. I mean, you can have a team focus on somebody, and they all take their turns on it. There's different ways to go about it. This is very technical, actually, this questioning, but I've not struck these sorts of questions before.
That's right. Just one more. So 11 goals by key position forwards last week, and I think 5 out of 6 tonight. How are your key defenders adjusting to the absence of Payne in particular?
Yeah, I thought we did a good job tonight. Geelong don't have a particularly tall forward line though, so some teams that play 3 talls like GWS did last week, and when we lost Jack, it caused us a few problems, whereas tonight it was just Jeremy Cameron and Neil. So we're okay with that. I mean, we lost Darcy Gardner before the game with stomach upset, so yeah, it was actually turned out quite positive because, you know, Starcevic is a good size to play on Dangerfield, so it worked out well for us.
Been a pretty rough year for Starcevic. You know, how pleased were you to see him out there tonight, and just a cramp to see him get into the game?
Yeah, he got cramped. He cramped up. He just said, "I don't think I can go back out there, folks." So I said, "Fair enough, mate." No, it's just good to have him back and a fit and healthy Starce back with us, because there was a period of time there where he was pretty unwell from that knock he got in round 1. So it's been a fairly long time before he's been able to come back, because he couldn't train for about 4 or 5 weeks. So we had to recondition him. That's why it took so long. But in a way, that was a good thing, because it gave his head a little bit more time to recover. So I've just got my fingers crossed for him that, you know, he can continues to play on and nothing like that happens to him again. Stars? Yeah, but he loves those sorts of roles. I mean, that's him, you know. I think he had Papley in the grand final last year. I mean, he's got a lot of scalps, and you have a look at him, he's a big man. I wouldn't want to play on him. He makes it tough for you. So that's why it's good to have him back, because it does make it difficult for smaller forwards that you come up against each week. He was huge tonight, wasn't he? He's turned into a great player, Cam. I mean, a lot of pressure when you're the number 1 draft pick to be a good player. And I think what's happened is that we've come to understand him and his strengths. It's taken us a little bit of time, and how it all fits in with our system. But in the last couple of years, we've discovered that. And you know, he's so lively, and he puts pressure on, and he's tough. It's a great game that he played.
How pleasing was Logan's performance tonight? It just feels like he's going from strength to strength and so young.
Yeah, well, I love the fact that he was able to back up a great performance, because often you see with young players, they kick 5, all you guys want to interview him and, you know, put him on a pedestal. And I said to him during the week, I said, "No, mate, yeah, there was a bit of attention this week, you know, plenty of publicity." I said, "You reckon you get a kick this week?" And I think that was the secret. I said that to him, and he wanted to prove me wrong. But no, he's a good level-headed young fella. He's an exciting footballer, 20 years of age, being able to do that sort of work on the field. It's exciting for Brisbane supporters, I think, that, you know, we found one. And, you know, losing Joey last year was a bit of a blow, but Logan's stepping up, and young Ty Gallop, I think, is going to be a good player. We haven't seen a lot of him yet, but I think he's got a bright future. Eric Hipwood contributed fantastically well tonight, particularly from a defensive perspective. So, yeah, we've got a bit to work with down there. Kyle Oman was good tonight. He sort of found some form. You know, I made him the sub last week to try and liven him up a little bit. He didn't play great when he came on last week, but maybe it was just the thing he needed to sort of take his mind off trying to be that great player that he was last year and just focus on basics. And I thought tonight he was terrific, and really pleased for him.
Did you sense his confidence was up really early in that first quarter? He was sort of had the confidence to fly for the ball.
Yeah, I was disappointed. He took that specky, and they gave a free kick to the other team. I thought, well, no sense of occasion, the umpires. Clearly the free kick was there. I'm not disagreeing with the free kick, but I thought, geez, that's a good mark for no result. But I think he took another one a little bit later on, and he just was moving around and putting some pressure on and looking dangerous. So hopefully he gets a little bit of confidence from that, because he's a damn good player.
Your sense is running primitive, kind of you're lifting to your opponent, or is there any sort of mentality around that?
Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe. You know, our best performances this year have been, you know, Hawthorn at the G and here tonight, and probably Adelaide, even though we didn't win that game. We should have, based on shots on goal that we wasted. So maybe there's a little bit of that in it. But we've got to become better than that. But still, you know, when we got to the bye last year, we were 13th. We got to the bye this year, we're 2nd. So plenty of things still to work on, but I think the boys have done a good job to win a flag and then weather the storm in the first part of the year. It hasn't been smooth sailing. All the teams come at you, so I'm pretty pleased with where we're at. But it's a hard competition, so you just got to keep going, don't you? Thanks, guys.